So the new LEGO Star Wars game has tons and tons of levels, ranging across all 9 Star Wars movies, from the good to the bad to the ugly. And hey, that's what we're going to be looking at today, the top 10 best levels in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, ranging from the vehicle levels to the average boss battle levels to the average platforming levels. Let's take a look at the top 10 best levels. Right then, I'm sure you know how it goes. Cue the goddamn music. Hello there guys, I'm RuggedEagle and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga video. So first off, let's look at the elephant in the room. Thank you so much for 100,000 subscribers. You guys are absolutely mental. And for all the support, I'm going to be giving away a few LEGO games, that being the Skywalker Saga and some of the older LEGO games for you. Like, more details beyond that later. Anyway, if you are new around here, you know, please feel free to subscribe and go to drop a like. It's up to you, but I do highly recommend. But if you've ever been in the Batcave in LEGO Batman 1, you have to go to drop a like and subscribe. I got you there, didn't I? But before we get into the top 10 levels, let's get into the rules and regulations on what makes it a best level. So to sum it up, if the level is proper dapper, it makes it into the list. But in all seriousness though, we're going to be looking at the level design, because we kinda have to, how unique the level is, how fun the level is, along with how the level may utilise certain gameplay aspects such as blaster combat, lightsaber combat, the vehicle missions, how it utilises some of the vehicle mechanics. And here's a good tip for you, try spinning, that's a good trick. Finally, I'll be taking in account how a said level may have different routes to complete the same level, because I really think this helps the replayability of certain levels, because it's really fun to see the different routes you could take. Right then, now that you know the rules, and so do I mean you wouldn't get it from any other guy, let's get into it. So what are the odds of a vehicle level making its way into the top 10 levels list? Well, in this scenario it's pretty high, because coming in at number 10 is Never Tell Me the Odds. So right out of the gate, what an amazing level this truly is. I mean, you've got John Williams in your ear just playing the Asteroid Field soundtrack. Oh, you can't get enough of that one. I mean, you just sat there flying around and all you hear is I mean, sorry I can't play the actual soundtrack because Mickey from Disney will find me and he will kill me. So the level starts out where you have to take down a few Star Destroyers, and the Star Destroyers are all fully built out of LEGO, and you don't really see the Star Destroyers that much in the game because they're not an actual explorable capital ship. I mean, you do get to explore the Super Star Destroyer though, so there ain't really an issue there. And I really appreciate how the developers put across the sheer scale of this level. You're just this tiny Millennium Falcon against 3 massive Star Destroyers. And this level really goes to portray the vehicle mechanics in this game. I loved intervening between all the Star Destroyers, taking out all the TIE fighters. And I'm so glad it's so much easier to get torpedoes now. Do you remember the old days when you had to fly to the torpedo stations? Well, you still have to do it in a few levels, but this one you just take out the TIE fighters and, well, take out the Star Destroyers. Now, granted the level is only around 5 minutes, yes it is a little bit too short, but it is a very good level. Especially when you progress over to the second half of the level, well, the second main phase, when you're flying through the asteroid field with the amazing soundtrack and all the big LEGO asteroid boulders. And it's just such a cinematic experience piloting your way through all the big boulders in the asteroid field until you crash and ruin your experience. And I love the reference to Space Invaders and some classic arcade games when the Millennium Falcon just like shoots out all the boulders. So overall, it's a very, very solid level with some awesome set pieces to the entire level design. Now it's time to move on to number 9. Alright then, so coming in at number 9 is Petronaki Panic. And I just want to start off, the visuals and the level design of this entire level is really well put together. And it really is mad just to think of the evolution of this level. Let's just take a rewind to the complete saga, then we've got LEGO Star Wars 3, and now we're here in the Skywalker Saga, and look at it. And I love how this level starts. It's very similar to Clone Wars 3, so you got like a little bit of nostalgia kicking in there. You're being Padme Amidala and you have to rescue Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin. And the thing that really sold me on this level is the amount of different routes you can take to defeat the 3 main beasts in the Petronaki Arena, that being the Acklay, Reek, and and the Nexus. So for example, you can just simply fight your way through it using the Born as Anakin or the Spear as Obi-Wan, or if you want to, you can influence them and use the beast to attack each other, or you can make them dance and then attack them. And can we take a moment to appreciate the Ackley dancing on all 8 legs? Look at him go.
Can't touch me. You can't touch me.
And then for the final phase of this level, we move on to the Jango Fett boss battle, and yes, it is a little bit short, but it is very accurate to the film, to be fair. And I'm a massive fan of how the camera works within this boss battle, and there's even a segment just before you defeat him where it goes in slow motion. It just looks epic. And it looks so cinematic, running at him, deflecting all the blaster shots, and I really love how you can use the force on his rocket to throw it back at him. There's all these different routes you can take to defeat him, and overall Petronaki Panic is a solid level. Coming in at number 8 is A Plan to Save Han. Now, the level of A Plan to Save Han offers such a wide variety of options to complete this level, it's really amazing. Now, this level really does differentiate itself because it's more of an escort level in a LEGO game, and we don't really get many of them. Now, I'm a massive fan of how the level takes a more slow approach, and it really allows the players to figure out numerous ways to get past the Gamorrean guards, or you could just go in guns blazing, it's really up to you. And can we just appreciate how they made the return of the Big Burger from LEGO Star Wars? For even though the Gamorrean guards kick me out, I'll get in there one day, and if you do get a mini kit for it. Now, once you start playing as Luke Skywalker and Bib Fortuna, it really opens up the multiple doors that you can take to complete this level. For example, I could have just took the exact same route I took earlier when I was playing as Leia and Chewbacca, but instead I decided to make the Gamorrean guards have a dance party, and then I got to walk straight through. And there's that many routes you can take, I'm gonna struggle to show them all, but for another example, when I was playing as Leia and Chewbacca, I noticed a ventilation shaft, and then later when I came back as Luke Skywalker, I cut it open and went through the vents. And who can ignore the gorgeous cutscenes and the graphics? It looks like a LEGO movie. And then obviously the level basically wraps it up with probably one of the best boss battles in the game, and that's the Rancor. Now, the Rancor boss battle really does look phenomenal, and I love how you could just beat the Rancor with a Born if you really want to, or you can use the Force to throw stuff at it, and there is a few ways you can defeat it. For example, if you kept consecutively whacking the Rancor with your Born, you will eventually defeat it, and it will grant you with a different cutscene. Or if you choose the option I did, which you all should have done anyway if you know the movie, you can decide to lead the Rancor towards the door and shut the door on it. So yeah, that is why this level deserves this spot on the list, and it could have been even higher for me, and I just think it's really intuitive, and it's one of the best levels I've ever seen designed in a LEGO game. So coming in at number 7 is yet again another level from the Return of the Jedi, and that's the Corpo Katana. Am I saying that right? I think I am. And obviously that's a link to the, famous song Copacabana. So you know the level is good when the minute you started it kicks you straight into a Boba Fett boss battle. Now granted it is quite a basic boss battle, but I just think the level has some amazing visuals. The entire Jabba sail barge built out of LEGO looking out into the sands of Tatooine, as Boba Fett would say. And what I didn't really know until one of the devs pointed it out for me, when he's hovering with his jetpack, yes, you can use the Force to throw his rockets back at him, and that's when I learned you could do it with Jango. Now this level is super fun. It ain't like mega intuitive on the level design formula or something, it ain't the most groundbreaking level, it's just super fun. And for the first time in ages out of every single LEGO Star Wars game, it's actually made me appreciate being the astromechs this level. I just love zapping everyone to death as R2-D2. And can we just appreciate the waiter appearance for R2-D2? That is by far his best outfit. Now this level truly shines when you move on to the Jabba the Hutt boss battle, and creatively that is an amazing decision. And this level is just absolutely hilarious. You just sat there trying to beat to death a giant slug and then chasing down a flipping rat. And then on top of that you've got Max Rebo in the background just throwing out tunes left, right and centre. And that's why the Corpo Katana makes it here at number 7, because it's an absolute blast to play. Right then, so coming in at number 6 is a level from The Rise of Skywalker, and that is the Strength to Do It. So this level is purely based upon a boss battle level. Now, the wonderful thing here is the developer hasn't just simply let this boss battle unfold as a regular boss battle level. They've actually added many numerous layers to this boss battle, which really makes it quite comprehensive in the way you can defeat Kylo Ren. You can use traps to electrocute him or lure him into the waves that splash over on Kefbia, and there's a lot of platforming to the level too. And you know what, you love to see it. The way they incorporated co-op play in this level is really well done. I mean, BB-8 doesn't stand a chance against Kylo Ren, let's be real here, and I love it how we can aid the other player using traps. And the way the environment is sculpted around this boss battle, that being the Death Star ruins, it's really great set design. And I wouldn't really say any phase of this level is better than the other, say the outside phase and the inside phase of the Death Star ruins. I think they are both fantastic and they really intervene together really well. And the main thing I picked up in this level is how really well done the fluent transition between gameplay to quick time events is done. It does not take you out the gameplay at all, and it makes it even better. And it's just such a seamless transition. 1 minute you're taking him up into air combos, letting him get hit by waves, and then all of a sudden you're freezing his lightsaber. And altogether, the level of the strength to do it is a really good grounded level, just from everything, the platforming to the boss battle and all the mechanics incorporated for co-op play. I went really deep on that one. I felt like I was doing some review or something, but yeah, it's a good level. Alright then, now moving into our top 5, and coming in at number 5 is Hot and Cold. So Hot and Cold really deserves this spot on the list because of the built environment. Now this for me really perfectly captures and portrays the game's graphical potential. The way they designed Hoth for this level is extraordinary. And you know what, it absolutely fuels me how this is not part of the planet of Hoth in the game. Like, they've designed this and it's just so visually amazing, and they didn't bother to put it into the planet of Hoth. I don't know if that because they didn't have enough time or the game had too much going on. I don't know, but come on, I wish they did. However, saying all that though, you can simply just replay the level and explore it whenever you want. Now this level again takes a more slower approach. You're just sat there appreciating the environment as you're riding around on your Tauntaun. The only time there's a little bit of action is when you're taking out a few probe droids, but if you want to, you can just sneak past them and do it stealthily. And that's why I think it deserves the number 5 spot. The entire environment built for this level is it's impressive. But I do believe there is a little bit of a missed opportunity here. I really wish they added in a Wampa boss battle, but we got it in the cutscene. But if they would have added that, it would have topped it off even higher. Right then, making its way just outside the top 3, you might as well start playing Duel of the Fates for this one. It's Better Call Saul. And that is obviously a reference to Better Call Saul, so let's start playing Breaking Bad music now. So this entire level is great just because you have John Williams in your ear playing Duel of the Fates, and I love how there's like a droid orchestra too. Nice little detail. Now this boss battle really takes a more platforming approach compared to other boss battles. And it's done really well because it holds that nostalgic feel of the classic boss battles wherever you hit them and they run away, but it also has that modern touch on it too. And the great thing for me is the way the developers have made this set piece of the generator room on Naboo. Every single time you fight Darth Maul, it never feels repetitive because every single time you fight him, you're in a different part of the set piece, and it really adds to the sheer scale. And that really does help it feel like the Duel of the Fates. It's a massive open generator room, you're platforming from one area to the other, you're fighting Darth Maul with a more cinematic camera where it's close up, and then you move to the final part of the level, which has some really great puzzling to it. And then the level basically gets really bad really quickly. And the thing is, it really annoys me and I really cannot stand it. And let me tell you what it is. The developers had the sheer audacity to leave me believing that Qui-Gon Jinn survived, and they kill him off. Now, I know he was meant to die, but I thought he survived for a reason then. I thought, have they changed up the story entirely, and then bang, he's gone again. My favourite Jedi. Oh, he looks so adorable in that poncho outfit too. I'm going to have to move on. We're all going to have to move on to number 3, which is the Senate Showdown. Right, so the top 3 positions on this top 10 list could go any way round really. It is purely personal preference, and the Senate Showdown comes at number 3 for me. Now this level is completely new and it definitely had some high expectations going into the game, and a lot of people were really anticipated for this one. And it didn't disappoint. And I really love the beginning bit where you're being Yoda and Palpatine's just electrocuting and spinning himself around and you have to avoid all his electric. And then once you start to move up into the conference room, it just gets absolutely crazy. You've got clone troopers jumping in, Palpatine throwing stuff at you, shooting electric at you, stuff is blowing up. I'm here being Captain Typho trying to protect my green little 3'5" friend, and I'm here just doing a panel, and I love it when you do that hero panel. Everything just goes quiet. We've just had electric being shot at us, stuff thrown at us, blowing up, and I'm here just doing a hero panel and it's dead quiet. Now, I wouldn't go down to write it in stone as one of the most groundbreaking, intuitive boss battles that has changed the formula of boss battles. I personally see it more fun and crazy and an absolute blast to play through. That's why it deserves this spot. Now, number 2 and number 1 on this list really could go any way round, and I guess you all know what is coming at these 2 spots. And at number 2, we have the high ground. Now the thing is, I need to hold myself back because I'm doing an old boss battles ranking video, which might be out depending on when you're watching this, so I'm not going to go mega into detail on the number 2 and number 1 spot, because I'm going to save it for that. And depending on when you're watching this video, it may already be out. There'll be a link at the end if that is the case. But what I will touch upon is the more level aspect of the boss battle level, if you know where I'm coming from. Now, what I love about the high ground level is how they incorporated the planet of Mustafar from the open world into this level. You are constantly traversing throughout the entire boss battle and the entire level. And that really helps ground the entire atmosphere of this level. It is very fast paced, exactly like the fight on the battle on Mustafar. It is just non-stop. You're constantly traversing from one area to the other, and I like how it does switch you between C-3PO and R2-D2 and Obi-Wan. And I love all the little fun details, like at the start of the boss battle you can literally pick up the cake trolley and throw it at Anakin. And when you get onto the final phase of the level, I love it how you're just moving across the lava stream on the droids, and the platforming is done excellently to fit in with the gameplay combat. And now it is time to move on and platform our way onto the number 1 spot. And that has to go to, drumroll, the level of Revelations from The Empire Strikes Back. And I'm just going to say straight out the gate, this is the best boss battle and the best level I have seen out of every single LEGO game. And that's why I must hold myself back, because I'm going to be making an entire video on why this is the best level and the best boss battle out of every single LEGO game. So I'm gonna have to hold back on this one. But anyway, I can't leave you like this. I'll basically summarise why I do think it is. Every single aspect I have mentioned throughout every single level is really incorporated into Revelations, and the name itself perfectly suits it. You've got the more stealthy, grounded approach with numerous takes on how to do the level, from the level A Plan to Save Han, and it's got that great humour mixed in from other levels, such as the bit where you're trying to find Vader and you go into Lando's cape closet, you see some Ugnaughts playing a game of poker. And what I appreciate here is how the developers gave Vader the upper hand throughout most of the fighting in this boss battle. Towards the end you do get the upper hand until the cutscene comes in and Vader just annihilates you. This level is truly the perfect blend. So there you go. I do hope you went to enjoy today's video, and if you are new around here, please feel free to subscribe and go to drop a like. That would really mean a lot to me. It took a while to construct this video, so a like would be really appreciated. Anyway, hope you all have a good week, and I'll see you all in a bit. Adios.